So good evening. Welcome everybody. Thank you for coming to the webinar this evening. It's a pretty stormy night out there, so hopefully you are cozy and warm at home, somewhere relaxed and happy. But tonight's call is all about clearing out any stress and anxiety, any tension that you might be carrying around. And then we're going to be creating a safe space for you, either in your mind, it will be in your mind in the session, but then maybe you'll create a physical safe space for yourself with that. So we're going to start off by, oh, hello, hi, people joining still. We're going to start off by using the specific eye movement that's going to help you to get into a really good sort of learning state. So to begin with, you keep your head still and your feet on the ground, comfortable and relaxed, and then just roll your eyes up in your head, keep your head still and look at a point on the ceiling or up as high as you can. Take a deep breath in, and then as you have your eyes up, just bring your attention to the rest of the room, to your peripheral vision. So your eyes sort of go to that soft focus. And then as you breathe out, just allow your eyes just to drop back down to eye level. We'll do that twice more. So breathe in, keeping your head still, roll your eyes up, hold the breath, and then just bring your attention to the rest of the room. Slowly allow that breath to go and the eyes to come back to eye level. And once more, take a deep breath in, roll your eyes up into your head, looking up a point up to the ceiling, bringing your attention around to the peripheral vision, and breathing out and allowing your eyes just to come back. So you might notice even doing that really small action, you might take a sigh, you might feel your shoulders drop a little bit. We're getting into the learning zone, into a different state. So there are two states of being. There's the sympathetic nervous system and the parasympathetic. So sympathetic is basically fight or flight, stress response, and the parasympathetic is rest and relaxation. So it's important to note you can't be in both. You're either stressed or you're relaxed. It's like a seesaw, you're in one or the other. So whatever you can do to get yourself out of stress and into relaxation, the better. You can do that with one breath, as we've just noticed. There are lots of different techniques. Tapping is one. Lots of different breathing techniques. Going for a walk, having a bath, whatever changes your state from a stressed point of view to a more relaxed point of view, you're heading in the right direction. That's what we're aiming for. Lovely. So before we go any further, for anyone joining now, just make yourself aware of the tools along the bottom. There should be a toolbar at the bottom of your screen, so you can use a chat box to speak to me if you'd like to. I'm going to be asking you various questions, so if you can share, I'm not going to share any names, but if you can tell me what you're feeling, that's going to really help you and it's going to really help me. You can raise your hand if you have a question. We're going to be working through some different emotions. So just be aware that if we do trigger any emotions, then just stay with it, stay tapping, come back into the room. Anything that comes up will pass. You're completely safe, but let me know if you need any help, basically. Because of COVID and all everything that's going on, you might not want to tap your face. So if you don't want to, you can just tap. Sorry, someone's just asked me a question, not getting the room. So you should be able to just see me at this point. So, and if you need to ask a question, then there should be things with a chat box at the bottom. So hopefully that makes sense. Sorry. Okay. So yeah, because of COVID, you might not want to tap on your face. I've washed my hands. But if you feel uncomfortable about touching the face at all, you can just tap on the collarbone the whole way through or through the finger points, whatever feels right for you, whatever feels safer. Great. So let's get started. So if you haven't tapped before, EFT, I'll just give you a brief overview. EFT, or emotional freedom technique, also known as tapping, is a little bit like acupuncture without the needles. It's a process of tapping on specific points on the head and hands to move energy and emotion through the body. So energy and emotions get trapped in the body because of our past experiences, our core beliefs, and things that we put in our body, toxins, or what we're eating and doing affects our energy system. So when we start to tap, we clear the blockages in the energy system, just like acupuncture, and lets things start to flow. But the other element that we bring in is describing how we feel. So you might have an anxiety in your chest, you would start to describe that as you're tapping. And the more specific you are about what you're feeling whilst you're tapping and describing it, the more specific, the more effective the tapping process is. So if you have an anxiety in your chest, and we give it a colour and a texture and start to describe it, you'll feel it clearing much more quickly. EFT is kind of strange and difficult to describe, very, very easy to do and experience. So if that doesn't make sense to you, don't worry, it will by the end of the session. So before we get going, just take a breath, close your eyes, and take stock of your body. How are you feeling right now? Is there any tension anywhere? If you have a pen and paper, you can make a note if you have tension in your neck, for example, or a stress anywhere. How strong is it in your body? How do you feel generally? Just jot down a few words that will remind you of how you feel. 10 out of 10 would be super stressed. So maybe give yourself a number of how stressed you feel or whatever that emotion is. And we'll check back in with that right at the end. Nice deep breath. And close your eyes and just bring your hands over your heart. On there. Lovely. Close your eyes and then choose a colour or an energy that's going to help you to feel relaxed and calm in this session this evening. So maybe it's a bright sunshine, maybe it's a pink or a red. Just imagine an energy coming in through your head, down into your body, into every muscle, all the way down through every organ, through your hips and legs, down to the ground. And as that energy connects with the ground, just feel any tension starting to drain away. So as you see, we're just breathing, setting the intention to feel clearer and bringing in the support whilst we do that. Good. Lovely. Great. So now we're just going to do a couple of rounds of tapping. I'm going to be pretty general with what I say, so just tap along with me, copy what I do, and we'll check back in a moment. So hands over your heart. You can open your eyes or close them, whatever feels more relaxed. I'm going to tell you where to tap, so keep one hand over your heart and start tapping on top of the head. So you're taking 2 fingers from the other hand and tapping on top of the head and repeating after me. All this tension in my body. And tapping the beginning of the eyebrow. All this tension in my body. And the side of the eye. I've had a stressful day to get here. Under the eye. I've had a stressful time. Under the nose. There's tension in my body. On the chin. I'm having all sorts of different emotions. And the collarbone. All these different feelings in my body. And under the arm. This point's just below the armpit on the side of the rib cage. All this tension in my body. And the palm facing you and your thumb up. It's the side of the nail that's closest to you on the thumb. All these emotions in my body. And by side of the finger on the side of the nail on the first finger. All this stress in my body. Middle finger. I'm letting go of my day. Ring finger. This is time for me. Little finger. Feeling calmer. Side of the hand. I can breathe more easily. Letting it go. And then one hand over your heart. Tapping on top of the head. We'll do another round. Everything I've been through to get to this point. Beginning of the eyebrow. All these thoughts I've had today. Side of the eye. All these stresses under the eye. All these conversations under the nose. All the things that didn't go as I planned. On the chin. I can let all of that go. Collarbone. Lots of things went well too. On the thumb. I'm recognizing the good things too. First finger. Feeling calm. Middle finger. I'm okay. Ring finger. Whatever's going on out there. Little finger. I'm feeling safe and I'm okay. Side of the hand. I'm here and I'm looking after myself. Lay on that side of the hand, take a nice deep breath. In this moment, all is well. Lovely, and bring your hands back to your heart. And just take note of how you feel now, just a couple of rounds of tapping. Maybe you've started to yawn, maybe you can feel your tummy gurgling. We start to have energy moving around our body as we start to tap. If you're an experienced tapper, you will know that that happens quite quickly. When you start tapping, we start to clear things really fast. The body sort of gets used to that. Oh, okay, we're clearing energy, moving through. So things start to shift quite quickly. So I just had a question a little while ago. Yes, there will be a replay. There'll be a recording. So you will have access to that afterwards. Good. So to really make this beneficial for you, I'd like you to maybe find a feeling or a situation or a person or a moment in the last few weeks that's been stressful, that's been, you don't want to think too big, but something maybe a mild irritation or something that's going on. I mean, we don't have to go far to find the frustration of what we're going through at the moment, but just notice something that you would like to really let go of this evening. And I'd like you to describe that to me. So you could pop it in the chat box, maybe give it, describe it, maybe it's an anxiety, for example. You don't have to give me too much detail, but just what the emotion is, and where you feel it in your body. That would be really helpful. So for example, if you have tension in your neck, it might be a physical pain, it might be an emotional pain. And as I say, if you put it just to panelists and panelists only, only I will see that, and I won't mention any names. So you're quite safe to share. As I say, the more specific you can be, the better it will be. I'll be pretty general. And if you can't share what you're experiencing, then you can just replace what I say with what's right for you. It takes a few minutes for any messages to come through. A few more people have joined, so thank you for being here. Welcome. So yeah, something you'd like to clear. Stress of a relationship breakdown in the heart and head. Thank you. Frustration in my throat, sticky and sad, black in colour. Thank you. That's really helpful. Yeah, there's a lot of pain in the last year, a lot of change. Change is quite a difficult thing to go through for people. So as I said, we're going to be a lot of work-related stress and a COVID scare. Thank you for sharing. So stress about relationships ending, feeling isolated. Okay. So there's lots of issues going on for people, and I'm sorry. Let go of anger and injustice. Okay, at the past. So there's some frustration and stresses, hollow feelings, so it's an emptiness. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to do some tapping. I'll try to include as many of these issues as I can. And once we've cleared what we can, we're going to create a safe space. So whether that's an emotional space in your head, it's a feeling in your body, work-related stress, money worries, lonely, heart, chest, back. So there's lots of people feeling this mainly in their chest. Anxiety. Okay, so some difficult things coming up. All right. So thank you for sharing. And let's see what we can do to clear out some of this emotion. So whatever you're going through, there's always an emotional response to that. And often we have an emotional response due to our past experiences. We start to create beliefs, ways of behaving in order to cope with certain situations. And then we repeat patterns over and over again. So for example, public speaking is a good way of describing this. So if you have a fear of public speaking, maybe you're not really sure why, but if you trace that back, maybe you had to stand up at school and do a spelling test and you got it wrong because you were stressed. Then each time you stood up in front of people, you have this same reaction, same response. So some of the emotion that you're feeling now won't be about the current situation. It will be every time you felt anxious, all those memories are being triggered. So it's not always as straightforward as what's going on. Obviously, there is what's going on. So someone's asking a question. I'm going to message you directly. Sorry, everybody. Okay. Great. So if you just raised your hand, did you want to come on and ask a specific question? Or if not, I've just sent you a message. Okay. Hope you're okay. So we're going to... sorry, I'm just reading the messages as come through. So you can't see a way of communicating just with me, but you are, just with panelists, you are communicating just with me. So that's fine. No one else is getting that message. Okay. All right. So we're going to start tapping. And I'd like you to focus on that feeling that you have in your body. So as I'm going to try and include as many things as I can. But you know what you're feeling. You know what relates to now, and some of it relates to the past. So we're going to clear out as many things as we can related to this that you might not know about. So tap along with me. Just know that shortly you're going to be feeling better. Nice deep breath. You can close your eyes if that feels easier. And breathe in that colour of support and help that you had earlier, or maybe you need a new one. Tune into this feeling in your body. Just thank that feeling and all these emotions, this situation, for bringing this to your attention. And we're going to start to change it now. So keeping your hands over your heart and repeating after me, all this stress in my body, all this frustration, all this stress about the end of a relationship, all this frustration in my throat, all this work-related stress, all these COVID scares, feeling isolated, all this anger at past injustices. I have this hollow feeling. All this work-related stress, these money worries, this loneliness, all this sadness in my heart, all this anxiety, all this bullying and harassment, all of these things that I felt. I want to clear these now. I want to feel calmer, happier, freer, and connected. I'm choosing to let go of this now. And keeping one hand over your heart and start tapping on top of the head and repeating after me, all this stress in my head. And beginning of the eyebrow, all this frustration in my throat. Side of the eye, all this emotion in my chest. Under the eye, all this stress about what I've been going through. Under the nose, all this sadness. On the chin, all these tears. Collarbone, all this emotion. And under the arm, all this tension in my body. On the thumb, all this loneliness. First finger, all this frustration. Middle finger, all this pain in my heart. Ring finger, all this sadness in my chest. Little finger, letting it go. And side of the hand, all this anxiety. Top of the head, all this frustration. Eyebrow, this relationship breakdown. Side of the eye, all this stress. Under the eye, I've been through so much. Under the nose, I can feel it in my body. On the chin, all this loneliness. Collarbone, all this anxiety about the future. Under the arm, all this stress. On the thumb, all these emotions. First finger, these feelings in my head. Middle finger, this tightness in my throat. Ring finger, this pain in my heart. Little finger, this pain in my head. Side of the hand, all these parts of my body that hold on to pain. I'm going to keep going, keep tapping, top of the head. Everything I've been through. Eyebrow, sometimes I feel like I'm going alone. Side of the hand, side of the eye, all this loneliness. Under the eye, I feel like I'm alone. Under the nose, all this loneliness. On the chin, all this emotion. collarbone, letting it go. So just stay tapping on the collarbone for a moment. And if you can, I'd like you just to turn the volume up on those feelings, and if that feels difficult. And as you breathe, feel it starting to subside. So feelings want to be felt. When you feel them, they start to clear. And we spend a lot of time trying not to feel them because it's uncomfortable, because it's painful. But maybe you can let 1% of that emotion go, or 2%, whatever feels right. Just breathe and tap. You're okay, I'm with you. It's safe to feel emotion. It's safe to let go of this. You can be free. There's always another way. Nice deep breath. Nice deep breath. And breathing in that colour that's going to start to clear, dissolve and release that stress, that frustration, that anxiety, all those tears. Nice deep breath. And just keep tapping, but pause for a moment and notice what that emotion feels like now. Hopefully that's come down, may have moved. Notice what colour is this feeling. Does it have a texture or a shape? And as you breathe, if it's a 7 out of 10, bring it down to a 6.5 or a 6 out of 10, or even a 5 out of 10. Just tap on the collarbone and breathe. Let it go. Good. And now I'd like you to imagine lifting up above yourself right now, looking down over the day, over the event, whatever it is that you're concerned with, whatever's triggering this feeling. So you can just step away from it. And then I'd like you to make that event in your mind smaller, take the colour out of it, shrink it down, take the power out of that negative emotion. And I'd like you to imagine this situation starting to heal. And maybe there's a lesson in it for you. Maybe there's something you've experienced, something that you can understand that you didn't before. When you get that perspective, you see things differently. Maybe you can see things in a different way. And just breathe. And then just float down your timeline into your past to before this event or this situation. And feel that emotion draining away even further. So you're taking out any emotion that doesn't belong to that memory, to that moment. Just feel it starting to drift away. You don't even need to know how that's going to happen, or even if that's possible, you can just feel it going. Just keep tapping the collarbone and breathing and sending resolution into that picture, into that situation. And breathe and tap. You might find tears are coming up. You might feel relieved. You might be yawning. You might be moving energy around. You might want to shrug your shoulders. Just keep tapping. And as you look down into that event again, just notice how that feels now. And if there's any more to clear, just let that clear and fall away. Great. And then float back above yourself right now, coming right back to above where you are right now, and just gently come back down into your body, into where you are. Take a breath, stretch back into your body. You can open your eyes if you'd like to. Just gently take stock of the here and now. And breathe. And then just notice how you feel now. Check into that feeling. And just pop a note in the chat box how you're feeling now. What's happening with that emotion? Is that clearing? Has something else come up? Tune into that situation that you wanted to clear. So it may have been the stress of a relationship, that frustration in your throat. How's that feeling now? Relieved. Lovely. Good. Some relief, calmer, lovely. Calmer and easier, perfect. Feeling a lot calmer and less under pressure. Perfect. Really good. And it's interesting to notice what happened to you while you were doing that. Did it get more intense first? Did it fall away? Not sure if anything cleared as such, but feeling quite good today despite not a great night. There's a benefit to hearing the voice. Lovely. Knowing we're here with others. Thank you. That's lovely. In a moment, we're going to move into our future. And the future you has resolved, has cleared anything else. I realised that God compensated me with something better. That's lovely. That's wonderful. Thank you for sharing. More relaxed. Good. Lovely. Great. So if things haven't shifted for you, we're going to do some more processing around that. And just checking everyone's, just tune into that hollowness, that loneliness. How's that going? A few people were feeling that, so we might need to do some more specific work on that. Okay. And whilst those replies are coming in, just have a think about what you would like to clear. If there's one thing you would like to clear, one emotion that almost like surgery we could remove, what would that be? If you could wave a wand and change that right now, what would that be? Feeling better, good. So lots of people having shifts, feeling warmer, lovely. So in a moment, we're going to go into the future, this current situation. So someone's asking, is there evidence for this working? There's lots of, there are more and more studies becoming made available. In fact, I'll make a note to post some of that. Thank you. But absolutely, there are lots of, there's lots of evidence for resolution, for clearing emotion, for clearing situations and healing moments. Scientific evidence is really helpful. Obviously, lots of it is subjective, people's experiences, feeling a certain way and then feeling a certain way afterwards, but absolutely. I'll get some studies, so thank you. Calm the tension in my arms. Great, thank you. That's a really, really helpful. So what's that tension like in your arms? So someone's asking if it's like Qigong. It's about energy, accessing energy, but we're looking at the subconscious mind and the beliefs and the patterns that are caught in there and releasing emotions that are trapped in memories. But it's healing energy too. Okay, let's do a little bit more tapping, clearing, and then we're going to move into a more positive feeling. So bringing your attention again back into your body, back into what you're feeling now, anything that's left that you want to clear. The collarbone this is the anxiety point. This relates to the kidney meridian. I call it the emergency tapping point. It's in moments of trauma, it's very isolating. This point brings you back, it clears the anxiety, emotion, it clears trauma, and it helps you to reconnect. So this is, as I say, what I call the emergency tapping point. If you're having a difficult phone call, you can just tap on this point. Lots of people put their hand to their chest if they feel anxious. It's quite comforting, it's easy to do. And yeah, it's the anxiety point mainly. So nice deep breath and tap in top of the head. We're going to tap through again. So noticing what it is you want to clear. Close your eyes. Notice that feeling in your body that you want to release. Take a breath, let it go. And repeating after me, this last remaining tension in my body. Beginning of the eyebrow. All these feelings in my body. Side of the eye. All this tension. Under the eye. This last remaining tension in my body. Under the nose. There's lots to change in this situation. On the collarbone. And maybe I won't release all of it today. Collarbone. But I would like to feel better. Under the arm. And I would like to feel more relaxed. On the thumb. Maybe I can't change what's happening. First finger, but I can change how I feel. Middle finger. And the more I change how I feel right now, ring finger, the more relaxed I can be. Little finger, the easier it will be to cope with anything in the future. side of the hand. I can choose to feel more relaxed. Top of the head, even if that's just for this moment. Eyebrow, this tension in my arms, side of the eye, this pain in my head, under the eye, this pain in my heart, under the nose, this stress, this stressful end to the relationship, on the chin, all this pain, collarbone. I can let some of this go right now. Under the arm, starting to let go. On the thumb, I can feel a little bit more relaxed. First finger. And if I can feel a little bit more relaxed, middle finger, then I can feel even more relaxed. Ring finger. Even if I pick this up again later, little finger. I won't clear all the stress out of my life, side of the hand, but maybe I can feel better about it. Top of the head. Feeling calmer. Beginning of the eyebrow. I give myself permission to let go of this now. Side of the eye. Feeling calmer. Under the eye. Feeling safer. Under the nose. Feeling more relaxed. On the chin. Letting it go. Collarbone. Feeling stronger. Under the arm. Feeling more relaxed. On the thumb. Feeling calm. First finger. Feeling safe. Middle finger. I've let go of what I wanted to let go of. Ring finger. I'm talking to my body. Little finger. My body is listening. Side of the hand. Feeling calm. Lovely. Nice deep breath. And you can bring your hands into your lap. Close your eyes. I'm just going to talk you through to your future. And we're going to create a safe space for your mind. So this might be a place in nature, somewhere that you know, somewhere imaginary. It could be somewhere in your home. And it might be somewhere that you create in real life. So it might be a chair, maybe it's somewhere you're sitting right now, or maybe there's a space that you can create for yourself. So whenever the mind creates associations all the time. So if you go on a holiday, one day, that will happen again, you stay in a hotel, and maybe the first morning you come down and you sit at the table and you work out where everything is. And then the next day you might come down and sit at the same place, and your mind just works out what the best place is for you. And then there you are, you're settled. And then suddenly one day you come down and somebody else is sitting at your table. And it can really throw you. Mind's going, hang on a minute, that's my table. We quite quickly decide how the world works, what's right for us. And when that's disrupted, it can be upsetting to greater and lesser degree. So when we start to create a space in the mind where you can go, sort of essentially that kind of happy place, then you're going to be more and more used to feeling like that, and you'll notice things like that have less of an impact. So I always say that like when you go to the gym, you're strengthening your muscles so that the rest of your time, your whole body's fitter. When you're doing this work, tapping, meditation, using visualization, all those things, you're strengthening that good feeling in your mind. Then you've got more of that available to you in the rest of your life. So it's that same kind of principle, strengthening that calm muscle, if you like. So let's visit a place. So as I say, it might be somewhere in nature, it might be somewhere that you know, it might be somewhere imaginary. And take yourself there. Get really comfy. What does it feel like? What does it look like? What can you hear? What can you see? What colours are there around you? How does your body feel in this place? And I'd like you to turn the volume up on all of those things that you've noticed. So the comfort, the support, the space around you. Maybe if you're seeing yourself on the beach, you can hear seagulls. Maybe if you're outside somewhere, you can hear the wind in the trees. What can you smell? And allow this feeling to come into your body, into every cell. into your heart. And now out of all of those feelings and sensations and senses, I'd like you to turn up the emotion. Make that the strongest sense, how you feel in this place. Make that bigger and brighter. Make that bigger than you. Feel it vibrating around you, through you, in every cell. Feel that brighter and stronger still. And take a moment to send this energy back into your past, forward into your future, out into the world. Maybe fill your room with this feeling. Calm, peace, ease, connection, warmth, love, space, peacefulness. Make that brighter and bigger still, filling your home, out into the street, out into the town, into the country, wherever you are, sending this message, this feeling, out into the world. There might be specific people that you'd like to send this to. See them being showered with this feeling. And as you're doing that, you can place your hands over your heart. I'm going to go quiet just for a few moments while you take your time to send this energy wherever it needs to go. And the more you send out, the more you'll feel that coming back to you, the more you have to send out. So just breathe and feel. And now you can go back to this feeling anytime. Keep your eyes closed and find somewhere in your body to store this feeling so you can access it whenever you need to. Where would you like to keep this feeling of peace and connection, this space for you? Maybe in your heart, maybe in your stomach, maybe in your hand. Feel it settling into your body, making its home in there. And now choose an action that will stimulate this feeling. So it might be touching your thumb and finger together, touching your earlobe, tapping a certain point. Just do that action now and feel that associating with this feeling, with this space. And when that feels complete, you can just rest your hand in your lap, keeping your eyes closed. Lovely. Just really feeling that sensation that you've created this safe space for yourself. And alongside this space for yourself, I'd like you to create a container. So it could be a box. It might be a hole in the ground. And it's somewhere you're going to put all your worries, all your problems, all those things that you need to think about. You can pop them in there. Close the lid. No, you can go in there at any time. You can fix those things when you need to, but whenever you need to, you can contain them. And then when that feels complete, come back to that feeling inside of you, make it bigger and brighter again. When that feels complete, just very gently open your eyes, come back to the room, take a few deep breaths, stretch back into your body. Welcome back. So I'd love to know how that was for you, what you created, where you went. But just check in with yourself. How are you feeling right now? You might need a glass of water. I do. Check in with how you felt right at the beginning of the session and how you're feeling now, what's changed. It might take a little while to come back. We went off to hopefully into a lovely place. So often people go to beaches and mountain tops, but maybe you've got a space that's right there with you. So part of today, I'd like you from this point, felt lovely to lock my worries away. Good. So feeling super, thank you so much, my pleasure. So what you can do is to create that physical space is find somewhere in your home. It might be just sitting on your bed. If you haven't got a lot of space, it might be a cushion on the floor. But if you can do it so it's slightly different, so if it is on your bed, maybe there's a cushion that you put on there that you sit on, or a blanket, or even a towel that you can use, so that you're kind of creating a space. If it's somewhere permanent, like a corner of the room or a whole room, if you're lucky enough to have that, then start to bring pictures in that remind you of that feeling, colours, objects that bring that feeling that you had. So the beach was my space. I feel so much calm and very relaxed. Thank you, my pleasure. Went to the beach, could hear the water splashing, total peace, lovely. It was a lovely caring exercise, thank you. Not sure about change as such, but I don't know. Well, we'll see what happens with that feeling. The more you can use that energy, start to look at what do you want to change, what it would be like when it's changed. And that's one of the things about some of these techniques, is that we forget how it felt in the beginning, which is why it's important to write things down. Something called the apex effect. When you clear something, you have no memory of having it in the first place. There are people reported to have had, recorded sessions because they couldn't remember having what the issue was in the first place, because it's almost like erased from the mind. Winter beach, sun, fresh air, feel less pain in the back and shoulders, do feel generally calmer. Thank you, my pleasure. So to use that future you feeling, or that calm, peaceful feeling as much as you can. So as if you were doing exercises with that every day, bring that into your everyday occurrence. If you can find a place in your physical place to sit, even if it's for a few minutes in the morning or in the evening, evoke that feeling, use the anchor, that physical action that you chose, bring that feeling in, make it real in your body as much as you can. That starts to become second nature. Yeah, so practicing as much as you can. We are exactly, someone's saying it's difficult, try not to run away from difficult feelings. Absolutely, we are trained to run away from the things that we don't like. We don't want to feel the pain. So we sort of put it in the pile and then eventually all that pile will come back and get us. So when you can start every day moving through, getting used to clearing the daily stuff, we can then start to clear this pile too. Yeah, someone's asking, is it always tapping with two fingers? I was always taught to tap with two fingers through the body. Some people like to tap with both hands, whatever feels right, really. It's more about the intention and the moving through. So you start to keep processing and moving through that emotion. Lovely. So I would love to hear how you experienced that. As you know, hopefully when you signed up, you realized that you registered for all the webinars through the year. So there's one a month apart from August and December. They'll be doing other things at those points. Each one will be doing some tapping, but there'll be slightly different themes and different ways of working. So I hope you've enjoyed it. Thanks so much for being here. You can pop to my website if you'd like more information, so stressfreelifeacademy.com, and you can book a taster session there. It's just 20-minute, half-hour chat with me, free session. You can talk about the techniques, any questions that you have, if you want to do any further work. I always love to hear from you. So at 7 p.m. I had a thumping headache, and that's all gone now. Thank you. So absolute pleasure. And just check back in with that original feeling and how that feels now. Oh, such a pleasure. Someone's asking how many people we are. We've got 17 on at the moment, which is really lovely. So thank you everyone for being here. Oh, my pleasure. Thank you so, so much. Absolute pleasure. So as I say, thanks so much for being here. I hope you're feeling calmer, more relaxed. You've got your safe space. Go there as often as you need to. Enjoy it. And I'd love to hear from you. So you can also email me, Jemima at stressfreelifeacademy.com. And I'll see you next time. Thanks so much. Lots of love. Thank you. Bye-bye. I'll post you the link for the recording too. Thank you. Good night.